So, we'll crack on. Do you know what I've never done? I've never made a weird noise before I've started. So, caw. There we go. Let's get into it. James, talk to me. You were gigging yesterday.
Yep. Last 2 days. The Thursday one went all right. Yesterday, was a bit of delay, so it was meant to start at 8, and apparently we had a DJ.
DJ.
So
Don't live
DJ,
in
so we had
childhood.
to wait until he came in, and obviously he was originally from London, but he obviously lives locally. So we're waiting till him to arrive, dropping his nana off. He came at like 1:30, so he had to set up. So that wasn't a good start.
No.
And then I thought, you know what? Because I'm getting back into like MCing, so I wanted
Okay.
to try and like work with the crowd and do improv. And it started working, but then obviously this ain't my worst gig, but this is like like worst gig within this year. So obviously it was
Yes,
like the
it's been
first,
recently bad. A new
yeah,
scar.
yeah, a new scar. So this was like the first bad gig I've had in a year. So which is quite not too bad to be fair.
Yeah, you've got to have a bad gig every once in a while.
Yeah,
You have to because it humanises you a little bit, and it's like you know what, actually, yeah, maybe I do need to go back to the drawing board a little bit. But if it's because you want to to hit up the comparing a little bit, and was that where it went raw, like doing the comparing?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I just thought, you know what? I thought, well, because Thursday I was interacting with the audience, but it wasn't. I didn't interact too much, so I thought I'll try and get them involved yesterday by improvisation, and it kind of worked. It did work for a little bit, and then I asked, "Give me three things," and then one person said, "Clear the room," and I was like, oh, "For fuck's sake!" I felt like saying something, but I was like, I put me on the fucking spot then, and someone said, "Oh, get back, get into your jokes." I started doing my jokes, and there was new bits that I put into it that I set it up, and then I forgot the punchline. So
oh,
I just introduced like the first act,
hmm.
and I was like, "Oh fuck, this has fucked me over." And I even said, "I forgot the fucking punchline." I was like, that's one thing you shouldn't say. You've been
uh.
doing it for 18 years, and you shouldn't admit that you forgot the fucking punchline."
I mean, to me, sometimes I think it can work. Like when you fuck up on stage, if you just own it,
Yeah,
sometimes it does well. But if we've gone 18 years, it's a bit. Yeah,
that's
I
what I mean.
can sort of get away with that being a newish comedian.
I know that's what I mean. It's like because obviously it's some of the stuff that I said was stuff that like I only wrote like days beforehand. So it's like you got to get used to that, and it did go all right. I introduced my mate as like the last act because like I had him the day before as well, and he's brought like this new clown character in, which I quite fucking love.
Okay, cool. Well, you don't
I'll have
get
to,
much character
yeah.
comedy anymore, do you? Like, you don't get
No, you
many
don't.
clowns about.
No, you don't. I mean, like I do character as well as myself, but I very rarely do character. I do the horny vicar,
The what?
the horny vicar.
Is any vicar not horny? You're just a vicar, James. To be honest, like, around my way, yeah. That's called father. To be honest.
That's what I mean. So I quite like doing that sort of character. So like I bring like about 30 fake books that resemble Bibles,
Yeah.
and then I get the audience involved. So like I'll do like 5 minutes of jokes, and then I would say, "All right, do your first hymn." So then it would be like to be hymn towards like lyrics to like "Baby Got Back."
Okay. Okay. I like that.
So
Wait.
it's
I'd go with that. If I was getting the book, I'd take the Quran out instead. No, sorry, wrong gig.
that's that's what I mean. So I basically do it so it's more like as well as character and one-liners, it's more like what they call it, like a bit like a sitcom in a way. Like it's is it scene? I can't remember the right term and name for the comedy part, but it's like a bit like a sketch show, sketch
Okay.
comedy.
Well, it must be quite nice to do a character comedy because it's so obviously a character.
Yeah,
Where I know a lot of people on stage are sort of like it's like a heavily personified version of your true self.
that's what
Like
I mean.
being a vicar on stage, can you just I just want to be something completely different.
And like I also have like another character that I sometimes do where I'm just basically topless and like the most unsuccessful Russian porn star.
Brilliant. Okay, fair. Um, why is okay? I'm going to throw this out here now. Russian porn seems to be becoming a little bit more mainstream.
It has, which I find kind of weird because like the amount of people that like, I remember being on TikTok and this person said, "Have you ever heard of this so and so so and so?" I was like, "Oh, is this a really fit woman?" And I googled the name and it said Sabrina Ivonkovich,
Yeah. Okay.
porn star, and I was like, "Right, okay." I had no idea who the fuck she was. It was just like some 40-odd-year-old woman with massive tits.
Well, it's scary because I try and stay away from TikTok now. Like I am bad on social media, I must admit. And since getting into comedy, I've really gone down the social media rabbit hole, and I
Yeah,
can't stand it. But I do like to play a fun game when I'm doom scrolling. Is do they have an OnlyFans? And 9 times out of 10, I can tell within 3 seconds of their video, yes, they sell their online butthole for like $5.
see,
Like,
it just reminded me of something there. I was just watching Love on the Spectrum, and there was this woman that was on about she went on a date with someone, and he had a tattoo with a butt plug on his finger.
beautiful,
I was like,
beautiful,
oh,
love
that's
that.
interesting. I
Yeah.
was like, I
Well,
might try and think of something for stand up for that sort of thing.
I'm working on a new bit right now, and it's going quite well actually. And it was, would you rather have a black son who's got a small dick or a daughter who's got an OnlyFans that's not successful? And
The
then
second one.
yeah, I'll try and collaborate. I was like, imagine having a daughter who's like, I'm giving my pussy away for $5 online, and everyone goes, no. A Happy Meal is cheaper, and it comes with a toy. Like
Exactly.
that's that sort of bit I'm working on right now. That I'm quite happy because I know like sort of like I got a bit of hate recently, and I'm sort of like
Oh yeah, I know.
all
I've
they.
I've had that
I think it's weird.
experience.
All they've done is created a villain. All I've done is double down. Like
For
not
us,
double down as such, but like just new tags and stuff. I'm getting more gigs.
hang
I'm
on, you
loving it.
froze.
It's. I think you do need
I
to.
don't know if it's me, is it you?
It's you, mate. It's you. I'll just keep talking through it, to be honest. And
There you go, you're back.
there you go. There, fucking change camera scene. Fucking scene two. You know,
You're back
otherwise we're
now. You
talking to a
froze for
vicar
me a
after
second
that.
there. You froze for me a second there. I was like, what? Hello?
Like the way I've changed it now, which I've done this tag the last 3 gigs, and round of applause, clapped. There's only one safe space left in the UK, and that's Peppa Pig World.
Northeast would be more ideal for you.
Was that?
I'd say Northeast. The Northeast scene, obviously, you've got bringers down south.
Yeah. So, don't. I
Uh,
can't. The devil of. I mean, I try. Every time I get someone in from London, I always talk to them about it, and the whole country is laughing at us. The fact that we have to do
I'm
it.
not laughing. I mean,
You should be.
there's times when I've had to have bringers up north, and that's only like if gigs don't like get the room doesn't fill up. So then other comedians bring their friends and that along. So
And
one
yeah,
did that
but
yesterday. To be fair,
I always stand by. I'd rather play in front of one man and his dog who wants to be there than 20 people who don't want to be there.
exactly.
Like 100. And I've got this guy called Cam coming on in about 5 episodes. He's just started a night in Camden in London, and he's not a bringer. Straight away off the cusp, he's not doing it because they don't. You know what I mean? They don't want to do it, and
Yeah.
it's got such a bad thing about it. I mean, why is it just London that does it?
You know, that is a good question because I don't really know the answer to that. Because you would have thought London wouldn't have nights where you just bring your friends along. It's just all audience people that you don't fucking know. Because I quite like it when there's no people in there that you know because you get more of an interaction than you do with your friends. And
Yeah.
it's a lot more harder to get laughs out with someone that you don't know than people that you do know.
Uh, yeah, but I've never ever performed in front of anyone I know.
I have. Uh, and that was on a very coincidence. I did this charity night that was I only had 2 hours notice,
Okay.
and I got asked by this new comic. He was like, "Oh, my mate asked for 2 comedians. I want you to be on." He was like, "I'm going to be there too." I turned up, and I was like, "Where the fuck are you?" He was like, "I'm stuck in traffic in Newcastle."
Brilliant.
I was like, "Are you coming?" He was like, "I don't think so." So there's me doing 15 minutes, And then my uncle comes in. He didn't even watch my performance, but his wife did. And his wife was like, where were you? And he was like, oh, well, I just went to the toilet. He was like, you've just missed your nephew performing. Good set. And then I had one person complain, was like saying, you're too dirty. I was like, well, I've had to tone my act down here. I normally do mental health jokes. I do jokes on suicide. She was
Yeah.
like, well, fucking, oh, you can't do that. He was like, well, I know that's why I've not done it here, because uh, that part of Middlesbrough is the suicide capital.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know we had a suicide capital. That's quite cute.
Yeah, well, to be honest, the North East is the suicide capital of the United Kingdom. So it's quite more surprising, really.
Oh, I never knew that. Oh, I thought it in London, but fair enough. I never knew. Oh, we had a suicide capital. So okay, so James, we'll go right back to the beginning here. 18 years. I know you usually start with how, what, why gave you the delusion to go. You know what? I'm gonna go on stage and try and make people laugh.
But it started before then, to be fair. So I remember like being about 4 year old, and my not cousin, my granddad, he used to give us these cassette tapes,
Nice.
and he used to put like a video inside of like say a Barbie thing. And it ended up being Chubby Brown.
Okay.
So there's me like being at like a very very young age, just started watching like proper blue comedy. I was like, ah, I'm in the sort of love for this. And then just upon when I was just before 9 year old, the school had a competition for comic relief, and it was like obviously a stand-up competition. So you've got to think there was about 169 students or something like that. We all took part, and I ended up winning. So we ended up traveling around. I ended up traveling around schools performing,
Nice.
and then
Free labour.
a couple of years later, I had the opportunity to perform with Cannonball and Bobby Ball's sons because they were his opening act in Blackpool. So that ended up being successful.
Oh,
And
what
then
was his name? No, what's it? What's the ball? What was his name?
Bobby Ball,
Who's the one who's alive?
Cannon, Mike Cannon.
Is it Cannon who's alive?
Yeah, Cannon's alive.
I'm getting him on the pod.
He might not remember it, but it was like fucking
No, no,
years
no.
ago.
But I didn't have a fucking clue who he was. And I was saying to my mum, like, oh, like the other day, I was like, oh, I've got this person. And she was like, oh my god, like he was the go-to in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, well, Bobby was a prankster.
Hmm.
He would fucking prank. He came out and with like fake blood all over his t-shirt. I was like, "What's happening?" He was like, and I was panicking. I was like, "Oh fuck, he's being shot. He's being shot." He was like, "Relax, it's only ketchup."
Oh yeah, I watched some of their stuff. Like it's always when he goes, they're both going down the stairs to the stage, and one stair just keeps going. Then he ends up on like, the other side, and it's so stupid, but it was just hilarious.
They were, oh, they were sick together.
Yeah.
And honestly, the movie that they've got where they're both police, that's like their best. That's their
Right,
iconic.
I need to do more research on. So so you went around all the schools, the free labour of comic relief, and then sort of when did you get back into it?
Well, I just started performing around pubs like round about when I was about 16, 17 year old.
Yeah,
So about 2014, 2015, that kind of thing. Maybe 2016 possibly, but
yeah.
around that sort of time.
Trying to do the maths now. So you were 16 in 2016. No, yeah, cool.
So
So 20.
10, 9, between 11, like 9 to 11 years.
Oh, fair enough. And I was like, have you noticed the difference with comedy, like pre and post COVID?
Yeah, I feel like before COVID, everyone could actually have a laugh. And then after COVID, everyone's like more sensitive. It's like snowflakes.
Complete. That is one thing I wasn't ready for. That is one thing I wasn't ready for because I've watched comedy. Do you know what I mean? Watched it online, all that. Watched all my favourites. I wasn't ready for the sensitiveness
I mean, it
around the
depends where
way.
you go, though, isn't it? Depends
Yeah,
where you go. Like, I went to Newcastle, they're up for every sort of black comedian. Like, dark comedy comedian, not
yeah.
black comedian. I can't say that now, even though it's called black comedy. Um,
Yeah.
and
Woo
then,
woo.
and then Liverpool, I thought that would have went well, but that's leaning towards it when you say the bombed part, so I'll leave that part till later. Um, But then you've got Sheffield, great crowd for dark comedy, and everywhere's basically got a great crowd for dark comedy. But there's just certain parts of the country, like Liverpool and that if it's too dark, then it won't go down well.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm jumping up to Spitfire on the first time I'm going up north in November, November the 11th.
All right, whereabouts?
Spitfire in Stoke.
That's about, I think it's about 2.5 hours away from me.
Mm. It's like
I'd have to
my first time up north, and then if it's I'm sort of doing it as a little trial, and if that goes well, I plan on moving up there or
That's
giving it.
Kimberly's gig, isn't it? Spitfire.
Pardon?
That's Kimberly's gig, that, isn't it? Spitfire.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, I'm going up there to roast Kim. And
That'll be
I've
a good role.
I've got some good. I've gone dark. I've gone very dark on it, like because she's so good at roasting,
Oh, no, she is.
and but she
Out of
I like
three.
and I say she's got all her little like. I always say she's like the Fagin for retarded children in Stoke. But she brings them all together. I was like, no, Kim, I'm coming up to hurt your feelings, girl, because we're good mates. We've become really good mates, and I know she'll try and make me cry. So I was like, you know what? Let's have this. Like, and my first roast battle, and I'm proper gunning for it.
Oh,
Like,
well, I wish you success on that.
yeah, it's like, yeah. You done any roast battles before?
I've done one years ago, a couple of years ago. There was a guy called Monty Burns that used to do
Yeah.
the spit roasts, and he brought one to Middlesbrough before, and he had like comedians there and people that weren't doing comedy, and obviously that was like a 2-3 hour event. It was just every fucker was like roasting one another. They got like about 2-3 minutes to roast. Like say there was 200 people in that room, they had to roast each person out of those 200 people. And it was fucking brilliant.
I love that. But like I said, quickly go back to like how comedy becomes sensitive. In my opinion, I thought the darker the times, the more darker the comedy.
Exactly.
But it doesn't seem to be that way. It seems that everyone's like I said. I gigged with a comedian last Friday, not last Friday, Friday before, a white comedian who ends up. He's from North London, but we was in Southend. Now Southend's proper. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah,
flags
yeah.
on flags. Like, do you know what I mean? If you haven't got, the English flag on the Union Jack flag, if both of them aren't on the lamppost, you're considered racist. That type of sort of place. Double down. And he started going on about how he's ashamed to be white because of his white privilege. And it was more of a TED talk than it was comedy. And the crowd ends up, one of them, an audience member goes, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And it was like,
Jesus.
they started explaining it to him. And it was like, bro, you're in fucking Southend. Like, read the
Fucking
fucking
mental
room.
that. Fucking mental that.
Yeah.
Gee.
And the second act ends up having to go to the fucking crowd because they're not vegan. He was like, "Do you feel happy that you're murdering helpless animals?" He was like, "Oh fuck me, what have I?" And all of a sudden, the owner of the gig, all of a sudden, he just changes the whole bill. He's like, "Right, no, I need Alan on next. We need okay, I don't know these next two people, and then like Dan, you can now go on last." He was like,
You know
"Oh
what that
gosh,
reminds me? There's a guy in the Northeast called Matt Hoss.
okay,
He has his own comedy night, which is all like vegan based.
oh
He was like, "Oh, you should do this." I was like, "I'm not vegan, though."
yeah."
It's okay not be vegan. I just want you to do jokes on fucking vegetables. I'm like, do I look like someone that fucking eats vegetables?
Okay. Okay, do you know what? To an element, I will challenge that because if he wants the night just to be about that, that's his prerogative. Like I got invited to do a gig in Cambridge University for um well, I think it was all like science students. They're like, all the material has to be about science. I didn't do it because I was like, look, I have not got one joke about science, and I'm not going to go up there and do caveman knock knock science jokes to a bunch of fucking Cambridge science. Like, do you know what I mean? Students, like, that's going to bomb on its ass. But the thing is, like, they've got the right to do them nights, but then don't complain when they're shit.
Exactly. I mean, I couldn't do a science night. Fucking hell, I'd need the space, you know.
Boom, boom, hey, there you go. That's the first joke. We need another 14 minutes and 50 seconds, and we'll go. So, would you say there is a noticeable difference, like gigging around the country, like different areas, and like, would you always like tailor your
South,
set?
South, I'd say, like to me, Liverpool, but like Manchester works well for me. I
Yeah,
think some parts of Liverpool would work best, but it just depends. Depends if it's a rough area, then I think they're not going to like the jokes. But then if it's a middle class area, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, we're all up for dark humor.
really.
Yeah, I always think it's different because like I've been in rough pubs like, oh, you can say dark humor, and then I go into other rough pubs and like, you can't say this. You know, I'm like, well, that's myself out the window.
I'm surprised by that. I thought it'd have been the other way round.
As I say, it depends, and it depends. Like, is what Ricky Gervais says. It depends on what the joke is, but so it depends on what audience is there and what sort of people are like. Because I could turn up to a gig, do dark humor, and they're like surrealism,
Yeah.
and then that would mean like thinking I'm gonna have to try and think of a dark surreal joke for to win over the audience.
Okay. And do you have sort of like some like testers in your set to like enable you to understand what way you need to go with it?
Yeah, I mean, like the day before, some of my jokes hit well on different nights. So obviously, in a pub, it runs in different ways. So on like a Friday, then that's when you get your lousy, drunken people that are
Yeah.
either going to be a tougher audience or they're going to be an easy audience to get over.
Yeah.
Which,
Okay.
I,
Yeah. No. Yeah. Fairly. Yeah. Because obviously, yeah, they're more up for it. Where your Wednesday nighters are more probably your casuals.
yeah, that's what I mean. So like Thursday was casual, and the majority of the shit that I would say always lands well anyway. And it landed well yesterday, but I just forgot a few of the punchlines.
Either-
And
oh, I'll turn this one more into a rant episode. You know, fucking Daniel's rant to James. You know, you're my therapist now, to be honest. Um, one thing I've never understood about, I always thought comedy was going to be about writing jokes, going up there, getting pissed, and having a laugh. But the amount of people who come there with their water bottles, they leave after their set, and they just sit there by themselves writing, like they're not interacting with anyone. They sort of
I don't get that. I couldn't do that.
no. It was like the gig I did on Wednesday. I I went there. I probably had about 7 pints. Shook all the comedians there. I was interacting like with talking with the crowd. I did heckle a comedian, I must admit, but you know, but I had him on the pod the day after. I was really proud of it. So like, he was like, oh, he was like, so he was based about his son's first paedophile joke, and like he was like, oh, do you want to hear it? It was all like, yeah. He was like, oh, and he was like, so his son's going to him, oh, what do you call a paedophile? And I went, Dad. And, like, and I'd run away behind the pillar, like crying, like laughing. But he was great. He interacted with it. I know it's not your son. Great camaraderie. Boom, straight on. But so like, all the other comedians, they were just sitting at this round table at the back of the pub. There was probably about what 20, 30 people there, just writing on their notepads, on their phones, not talking.
I don't like that. I don't like it when it's like that. I just like when, like, as you say, people are always interacting towards like you or the compare, as long as they're not trying to be a dickhead about it. But
Yeah, yeah. As long as you're trying to like steal the stone there. Oh, of course, I hate main character syndrome. When everyone thinks, you know, they're third on a 10-man bill, but for some reason they think they're the main person. Do you know what I mean? Like the highlights, all that. I can't fucking stand that. Because everyone in life, and no one is anyone. We're all nobodies. No one gives a shit about us. And I hate optimism.
that's what I mean. The thing that I hate is like you've got these people, like you've got people that are lovely off stage but end up being dickheads on stage, which is kind of what I am.
I think it
But
tends
then,
to be that way. The darker and the bigger the prick on stage, the nicer they are off the stage.
and then when they're nice on stage, they're arseholes off stage.
Yeah, there's a correlation. There 100% is a correlation. And also, I don't know why, I've always found the darker comics to be nicer.
Exactly. But
It's
it's
like,
hard to find a dark comedian these days because like everyone's too sensitive and like there's only quite a few of us. Like your mate Cameron,
Yeah.
uh, Paul Foot.
Paul who?
There's Paul Foot, Ford.
Paul. He is
I
my
don't know what I called.
boy. He is my boy. Oh shit! I'm hitting my phone so hard. Just turn my camera off. Wait, he is fucking brilliant. One sec, I've just turned my bloody thing off. Let me do that. It's such a sensitive wire. So yeah,
That's what I mean.
Paul's joke about have you gigged with Paul?
Not yet, no.
Well, he's coming up to Stoke with me, and there we go. He's coming up to Stoke with me on the 11th, and then I'm
The
going
camera's
Bristol and
still off.
gigging with him. Fuck me, what have I done here? And then I'm gigging with him. I'm down, and then I'm in Bristol for 2 weeks in November, gigging with him.
I mean, that'll be brilliant.
Oh, honestly, I'm in business now. There we go. Honestly, I cannot wait. Why is it not saying camera's connected? One sec.
I have no idea.
I'm going like, honestly, this wire is so shit. It's unreal. But that's not a kid. So yeah, I've gifted him a lot of jokes because I always think you can write anything, you can say anything, but the jokes they're either for you or not for you. Why is it not liking that?
That's what I mean.
Oh, there we go. So there's the sign. Right.
That's what I mean. Like, what was it? A comedian asked me yesterday. Actually, it was like, oh, I'll write 5 minutes, 5 minutes of dark comedy,
Yeah.
and then I'll mention one of the jokes. He's like, can I use that? I was like, no, you can't use that joke. He was like, why not? I said, because if you use that joke and other comedians see you using that joke, then if I use that joke, I'm going to think that that's your joke.
Fair. I mean, yeah. I mean, if I write jokes about everything and anything. I'll write jokes, black jokes, brilliant. Yeah, cut me out there, didn't it? Black jokes,
We'll
gay
put you
jokes,
after that.
trans jokes, everything. If they make the stage or not, different story. But like my dark jokes, I'll send them to Paul. Be like, look, what do you think of this? I am not going to say it. Like, you can try it. Like
Yeah,
the one I gifted him the other day was about the NHS is now giving the after pill away for free
yeah.
because raising a kid for 18 years is more financially easier than £27 on an after pill. But this means women out here go around and then get themselves filled up like a Claire's, or by the look of some of you crowd members, profiteroles, and like short and fat instead. Love that joke, but I was like, I haven't got the cheek to get away with it. I couldn't do it.
That's a very good joke.
Thank you. Really proud of it. So I was like, Paul, like, see, you know what I mean? You test the legs. You get lynched first.
I always get lynched first. Like, I always do. I've got this new bit in myself where I'm like, my father died from a brain hemorrhage, and at his funeral, they played a rush of blood to the head. Talk about unexpected twist of fate.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's obviously based on like my life.
Yeah.
Obviously, my dad did die from a brain
Oh, he
hemorrhage.
did actually. Okay, fair enough. No, fair. Well, I was like, I've reached someone when I do my twin bit, and there's like my nan. I know my twin bit, so like be in the afterthought of the birthday song. Don't blow your candles out. He's a doctor. Don't ever compare yourself. Cheers, nan. You didn't have to write my birthday card every year, like hardy heart. But it's like okay, so like, she's dead now. That gets a little laugh, and then I've tagged that with, and I'm so proud of this tag. It's like I saw it's about a minute into the set. It's my first gasp I get. I was like, she actually died of cervical cancer, which it didn't come to no surprise to me because she was always a rotten cunt. But she didn't die of that. She died like 86 years old and fucking everything. But I was like, it's so good because like how many jokes have you got? It's like where they've been part of your set, but then you just get these new tags that you just keep like adding onto them.
Shit tons. There's a few where like I've actually changed like the punchline. What was the other one? There's one that I always do at the start, and it's not to do with me, but to do with my friend. So he told me the situation happened, and I created a joke about it. It was like, I've been on 2 dates in my life. One ended badly, and the other one ended in suicide, but still a shag's a shag.
Nice. Yeah.
And that was true on his behalf, but it was like, oh, I've got the story.
Was
There's
that in
this
Middlesbrough,
story.
fucking suicide town, or?
Yeah, yeah, it is. But like, he told me the story where he was like, oh, this laugh I went on a relationship with.
Yeah.
Wait, one sec. I'm gonna have to pause it for a second because I'm getting yelled at.
Yeah.
One sec. How do I do this for a second?
Do
So
what?
I'm gonna mute myself for a second because I got yelled at. One
Oh
sec.
no, you're fine. You're back in the room. All right, guys. Oh, we've got the monster drip. We've got the scenery. Oh, my camera's fucker. But it's Saturday night. Oh,
Sorry about that.
that's right, fella. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, yeah.
but yeah,
No. So Saturday night, neither of us have got gigs.
yeah. I mean, I've not got one next, and I might have a spot on the 30th, but I'm gonna try and apply for that one because it's for Kilvo.
It's for what?
Kilvo James Kilvington,
Okay, yeah, cool.
because he's got one on Thursday, but it's like a new acting material night.
Yeah.
So we'll look for spots.
How easy is it to pick up gigs around your way?
Well, there's not many opportunities, so that's why I've started. I brought my comedy nights back. So obviously I've got four venues, and I've got the Twisted Lip now, which is what Kenny had beforehand.
Where, what, Kenny?
Watts.
Oh, I've had him.
I know you had him the other week.
I've had Kenny. I liked Kenny.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I've took over that because they were like, oh, we want to bring comedy back. I was like, all right, I'll pop my head in. But like, we'll do a new material night in the first one, and then we'll bring an headliner in for December, so that'll be a paid one.
Yeah. What's like the logistics of running a night? Maybe teach me this because next year I'm gonna start running my own nights, but I'm not doing open
Oh,
mic nights. I've got my database of every single social club, like work rugby club, bowls club, all that in a 25-mile radius of me, and I want to do a basically. It's going to be called Sit Down for Stand Up. There'll be about six
yeah.
comedians, and the rules are if they want to perform on the stage, they had to done an episode.
All right.
So it
Yeah.
sort of brings it all together. Because I've had fucking like from Lenny Sherman, Jamie Hutchinson. I've had big fucking names on here, and I also have had people who've like only done one or two gigs, so I could really spunk on a bill different skills. So what are like the logistics behind
Exactly. I think it depends really, because when I started, I was just doing it by myself,
it? Okay,
like putting the gigs on.
yeah,
And the last time I put one on by myself, I got told by someone that 40 people were coming. And I turned up, 40 people were there, but they ended up being a bachelorette party. So they're fucked off. And then no one came up to
right,
watch. And then I had to pay like 100 quid towards one of the performers. So then when I decided to bring my comedy nights back, I got in touch with the venue and they were like, oh yeah, we'll work with you. So they do the advertisement and then they do the money sort of thing. So it's like I'm doing like the promoting on Facebook, but they're actually dealing with the money
yeah. Because I was gonna say,
side of
how
things.
does it usually work? So say if like you say if you do a ticket event, so say £10 a ticket, does the
Yeah,
venue get that or do you get that? Or is it all independent on
it
every
depends
stage?
if you're saying it up.
Hmm?
It depends if you're setting it up. Like say if you're doing it by your schedule, then you'll be getting the money. But
Yeah.
if it's the venue that's put it on, then they'll get the money, and then obviously they'll give you the money on the night.
Right. Okay. That's I think
So it
nice.
depends.
I was sort of feeling
Yeah,
like
so it depends who set it up really.
pardon?
It depends who set it up really.
Yeah, because I think I want to approach places that I've already got. There's gonna have people in there no matter what. So social clubs. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be people there. So there's
But
going
they're
to
difficult now. Social clubs are difficult. They used to be free hire.
yeah.
Now they're paid.
Are they?
Yeah, because I got in touch with Billingham Constitutional Pub, which my mate was going to get beforehand, and they promoted it and nothing. They sold no tickets. No one wanted to turn up. And then when I tried to get in touch with them again, they was like, "It's going to cost about £300." I was like, "Oh, okay, fair enough."
What to do the room? Yeah, and then
I was like, "Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that much money to." to hire a venue out, so I'd just rather do it for free, or at least
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, I need to look at it.
what I tend to do is like say if they're on about putting tickets on like Facebook and that and advertising, then I would give them a 20 quid in return. So then it's like they're losing 20 quid and then they're earning 20 quid at the same time.
Okay. Fair.
To help them with the promotion side.
Fair. Yeah, maybe I need to look at yeah, the money side more. 'Cause I don't care if I earn from it. I just it's something that next year I'd want to sort of take around the country because I've got enough. I've got. Do you know what I mean? Like doing an episode a day, I'll get about 300-400 comedians in my roster. Do you know what? This is actually a cheap way of starting a fucking agency, isn't it?
Well, yeah, think about it. You could call it like how far I go.
Yeah. You
You
know,
just put your
yeah.
surname in there. How
Well, to be
far
fair,
I go.
on the Excel sheet I've got, which quite happily it now goes down to about 160, like people who are scheduled to come on, who have been on and stuff. But it's got their location, their number, their email address. So like, yeah, I might turn into an agent one day. Fuck it,
Aye.
do anything to be honest. So I know how was Fringe? Did you go Fringe this year?
I was gonna. I had it all planned out, and then my friend was gonna book an accommodation, which
Yeah,
was waiting until it went closer to the time. But then obviously the prices shot up, so
yeah,
I didn't end up going because I lost out on the accommodation.
it's extortionate, isn't it? I mean, so because oh, the one I was going to ask. So you've done a couple of specials, haven't you?
I've done a lot of specials. I've done one as Lee Vasey, which is another one of my characters,
Yeah.
which is where I'm like, it's kind of inspired by Jeffro,
Okay, cool.
but it's more of like a Barnsley farmer who's obsessed with his cow.
Okay, cool. It's the cow called Daisy.
Yeah,
Always, it's
that's what
always Daisy, isn't it?
that's why I called the special something like pushing up the daisies.
Yeah, love it.
Um,
Good that.
and then obviously I've done one as the Horny Vicar. I've got one that's called Gary Ian Michael Pearson, which is also known as Gimp, and then I'd come on in a Gimp suit.
Brilliant. Yeah. Luckily, you had one of them laying around. You know, had to get used to having somehow, didn't you?
I Do
Uh,
you know that actually reminds me of when I moved into this new house. The couple that lived here didn't tell me that they left a fucking table in my room, and underneath that table was a box. No, actually, it was a carrier bag with used cock rings and fucking dildos and all shit inside there. And I was like, fucking hell.
Brilliant.
I was
Used.
like,
Oh, like they didn't wash them. There's
they
no
didn't.
etiquette nowadays, is there?
And then
Civilization is dead when you give
there was a
someone a
tape.
place.
The other tape that was like, oh, I wonder what's on this. And obviously they're about fucking 8 year olds, so
Nice.
it was like watching two fucking edge jugs having sex. That was like,
I do a bit on that now because I do a bit on AI porn and sort of like like the world's not ready for me and like like you look in them when you have to get the face recognition now. Where it does the camera, it says make sure you're in a well lit area. Because I was quickly walking out into the garden naked, being like, sorry, about to have a wank. Like, get the visual. And the ads I always get now are like, old grannies in your area need fucking tonight. And it's like there's
I always
loads
get
of
that.
like, it's like they skipped the sexy young women. It's now just I only get horny old women. And it's like, I'm aware of this. I live next door to my mum. Like,
I always get that when I like to go on like dating websites. I always get like, oh, there's this 83-year-old woman that wants a good time. Like, oh, fair enough.
bless
I've
her.
got I've got a grant that's buried in the local cemetery, so it won't have to find myself.
Ready to go. To be fair, I don't do dating apps. I don't do them. And this is actually a true story that I need to turn into a bit. I had about 4 dating apps for about 6 months, and I didn't have one connection. And all of a sudden, I got a connection. I was like, okay, cool. And it was it's like 30 stone woman with cerebral palsy. I was like, okay, cool, hello. And then she just disconnected from me. So I was like, fuck. Like, do you know what I mean? I know I'm not, I know I'm not, even like a fucking 4 out of 10. But guy, like, come on, like the self-esteem on these apps is a killer for men.
She should come round your house in a couple of days' time for your birthday.
What's
That'll be
that?
your birthday surprise. She should come round your house in a couple of days' time for your birthday.
Yes. Fuck, bro, have I got now? What was it? 6 days. 6 days.
Halloween.
Gang, gang. Yeah, I've done no bits on that. To be fair, I don't think I've celebrated a birthday since I was 21.
I've not celebrate like I don't really celebrate a birthday. I just tend to go out for a meal and that's it.
Well, that's been the bit I was always going to do is piss me off because how shit it is having to give out presents and sweets to kids on your own birthday.
Aye.
All the pricks who knock on your door and you got to give them fucking trick or treat shit. It's like, no, it's my birthday. Where's my fucking present? Fucking dickheads. Can't stand them. So, so I've got a question. So you do a bit of a comparing, one I like to ask. So say I'm on the bill, okay? There's a comedian on after me, so you can't kill it with half time. I go on and I bomb, okay? I don't just bomb, I call everyone and their nan a slag in the crowd, okay? They hate me. They get booed off. As the compare, how would you address this and bring the room back?
Well, I would have to like say like explain that you're a new act, and then I'd have to try and say like, oh, this is where the accident happened.
But I'm not a new act.
No, I'm just saying like I'd have,
Oh, you'd
that's
use
what
that
I
as a
would.
cop out. Someone going
Yeah,
10 years, oh, he's a new act. Bless him.
that's what I'd say. Like just so like you don't, just so that like, oh, right, is he a pro or not? And even if you are a pro, I'd still say something like, oh, he's a new act. This is where the accident happened. So this is
Okay.
where he died on stage, and then that would get them laughs. And then obviously I'd have to put you back on, like when you've sorted your shit out. I wouldn't
Fair
put you
enough.
on straight away.
Yeah, but like, I've never done that, but it's always a nice one I ask because there's always a little follow up with my one. So, what's the worst thing you've ever seen someone do on stage?
The worst thing I've ever seen someone do on stage. I think I've told you this before.
Yeah, have you ever told it to the people? Have you?
I know, but I
There'd
was
be
at
no
this
point in
comedy
doing an
night.
episode, would it? If it was just things me and you have said to each other. I can just read out
No, but
fucking text, can't I?
no, I don't mean. I texted it on like this YouTube channel. And the
Yeah,
worst thing,
for
yeah.
the people, James, for the people. Okay, we've got new people since then.
Okay, okay. Um, well, I was at this comedy night, and it wasn't one that I was performing at, but I was in the audience, and there was this person that put like a fake, like he had chocolate in his hand and put it on the floor and just made it look like shit, and just picked it up and ate it.
Brilliant.
And everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?" And his act was just basically like just picking up fucking fake shit.
What was he, an audience member or was he a comedian?
No, it was a comedian.
Oh, well, we use that term quite lightly nowadays, don't we? What was he? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Fun one. Because what would you say the average lifespan, not life as in general life, a comedian's lifespan is before they give up?
I mean, it depends. I think with some people I've seen that they've given it about 15 years. There's one that
Yeah.
I was surprised I was going to get Julian Leon for like one of my future gigs, but he's just said that he's fully retired now,
Because
and
I
he's like,
said there's all these classes. I mean, these ultra comedy courses. I don't really know much, but I know there's some good classes as well. All that. They seem to be shitting out, 25 comedians a piece every 3 months. Well, how far do they go till they all just die out?
I mean, it's probably with the AI shit in it. AI's going to probably sell us all out.
Do you know? Okay. Well, what's your thoughts on AI in comedy?
I mean, I'm not with it. I mean, I'm with it in some aspects, but not on the comedy side of things. So, like,
Yeah.
if you're asking a question and you don't know the answer, like, I don't know, I'm just going to throw like how to make ice cream. If that gives you the ingredients to make ice cream, then I can see the beneficial of that. But like joke wise, I'm not for it.
I know, 100% agree. Like, I use AI for things like when I wrote the description for this for this YouTube channel because I was like, look, I can't do this. Give it to me with all the SEO buzzwords. Love it. I use AI to create all the shorts for the videos. I just upload a video, it shits out 30 shorts, and then I've conditioned my hair to it looks very fluffy, doesn't it? And
Yeah,
I know. And does that. But I'll never ever use it. I'll never use it for a joke.
that's what I mean. Like I even spoke to James Wallace, who me and Kim know,
Yeah.
and he said, "I've got you an idea." and you could go the Stuart Lee route with this. You could do a special where it's called things that AI wouldn't allow me to do. So you could like joke about like, uh, like I tried asking AI to do something on Charlie Kirk, and it said like, oh, this is so sensitive, this kind of shit, and like just go on that sort of route and just like make it more alternative comedy just based on AI.
Okay, but well, 'cause I've seen a lot of comedians. They've done specials on and the first time I saw it, I was quite inspired by it. But I've seen it about 6, 7 times now, so I've already lost interest. Where they've got like hate online or something, and they'll do a special on that, like reading all the comments on stage. And I just
I've
thought,
seen it.
like, I've seen it played out now.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's what Jimmy Carr does, doesn't he, in part of his set? So like you'd have like the audience member like write stuff in and he'd just read it out.
yeah. But I don't.
I
That
quite like
seems
it.
lazy.
It does seem lazy. I, I'm again, that's like AI, not for it, not for
Yeah,
people in the audience writing shit out.
yeah, 100%. But then, yeah, I mean, no, I do find it lazy. But then, I think at that level, if it works, it works. But I mean, I've like talking about like nobody comedians and stuff. So I said, with a comedian, like how would you like suggest and advise them to get onto paid work and stuff?
Well, I'd have to see them perform first. So, like, say if they're a new act and I think they'd probably suit a pro night, then I'd put them on. Like, there was one that I've only seen that's only performed 5 months ago. Like, you've only performed about 5 months, haven't you?
Yeah,
Right. So, I seen his bit of him talking about how he should have, you know, scattered his nan's ashes. And it was a good, like, 1 minute, 2 minute bit. And I was like, I quite like this. And I put him on for Thursday and he laid the room completely. Everyone fucking loved it.
yeah,
I was like, you're suited for pro nights, even though that you're an amateur comedian, but you actually, you're getting the crowd over. And it was before the headliner. I was like, this is fucking brilliant.
yeah. Because I don't. There is no time frame, is there? Because I said like the gig I did last Friday, where the vegan guy, they were having a go at the crowd. And before like the stage show, I was talking to him all like, how long you been doing comedy for? The white cuck bitch, first guy. I mean, if you're ever watching this, mate, you deserve to be called a white cuck bitch. Sorry. Um, he'd been going since like 2017. So I was like, okay, cool, right. And then the vegan guy was like, oh, I've been going since 2010. So I was like, fuck me, we got some vets in here. You guys must be killers. No, no. I think, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the equivalent of going to gym once a month for 10 years, or someone who's been going to the gym, 4 times a week for the last 6 months. Who's going to look better?
Aye,
And yeah, I don't think time frame duration has much to do with it. It just how quickly people progress quicker than others.
that's what I always say. I mean, I've seen people that have had more, like more years and 5 years and still been, open mic level. And then I've
Yeah,
seen people that have only performed 5 months and then they perform like as if they've been, performing for about 20 years or so.
yeah,
It's like, you're too good for this amateur set.
yeah. But the thing I've sort of noticed, not noticed, Dan going a little bit bitter again here. Do the clubs have their people? They don't. Comedians aren't dying at a rate in which they're joining. It's a
Oh,
saturated
yeah.
game now. So like, do like like Comedy Store, Top Secret, hot around your neck of the woods, Stands, Hot Water, Glee. Have they got their people?
I think it depends. Yeah, in some aspects. So, like, close to me, it's like the Stand. That's like the nearest biggest thing.
Yeah,
So they've got their people. Then you've got the Arc. They've got their people. But then you've also got one that you're probably not too familiar with, Big Mouth Comedy.
Big Mouth.
Yeah.
Heard it.
Right. So they've got the Town Hall where I am, and then they've got one in Hartlepool,
Yeah.
and then they've got one in Stokesay, and they've also got the Spa Hotel. And
Right.
obviously, that's like, one's like about nearly 1,200 people, the other one's like about 3,300 people. So, they've got like a massive, massive, massive following. And then when you've got like certain things like mine, which are like kind of like smaller venues. Like one of mine's like a 200 seater. Uh,
Yeah, that's
as I'm
nothing
saying,
still.
like
He's
starting
commercial
back out
down here,
there.
but
But it's like let's like starting fresh again in it. Like even though it's like the company's been going on since 2022,
yeah.
it's slowly building itself back up again.
Mm,
So hopefully that will one day be the equivalent to like say Hot Water and
yeah.
Glee.
Well, what I said that
Or
like, do these places have their people? They have their roster, and so say okay, say if little Bertie comes along and he is a killer. He is a killer of a comedian. Okay, fucking smashing it, but he hasn't got the social media following. He hasn't got any of like the clear signs. He's got a killer 20-minute video. Why would they bother?
that's a fair point. I mean, I would say yes, but I mean, again, with like videos, every promoter needs to see at least, you know, the act before and buy a clip. So if they don't have a recent clip, then the promoter's not going to be wanting that comedian because it's not like a recent video clip of them. So then they're not going to get their following to come to their club for building themselves a bigger following and etc. etc.
I haven't filmed. I filmed like my first two sets. I've not filmed since.
That's what happened to me basically. So like the last video that I sent was a video from a couple of years ago. I've not filmed since. Well, apart from a couple of days ago. But yeah, I got asked by another promoter. They're like, "Oh, we won't have you on here because it's not a recent video." I was like, "I didn't even have a tripod back then."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
tripod,
I don't know why, and I know it sounds cringe, and I know everyone will disagree with this. I just getting there, setting up the stand, all that. I don't know. Maybe I just go there to have a laugh. Go there, have a laugh, make people laugh, and then maybe I need to start recording my sets again.
yeah. I mean, that's what I tend to do. Like, I've started recording a lot more now than what I used to. It's like I said, like last year, I recorded about two, but then the year before I didn't record any
Yeah.
because I was just like basically looking for new venues, and then I would only have like a gig like once, maybe twice, because I was like basically focusing on like looking for new venues for my comedy nights because I had the West Garth, which that ended up being knocked down now, so that's no longer a thing. And then I had the Devil's Advocate, which was a fucking nightmare. I had a good bunch of people from Liverpool and that. And then we were about to start the show, and then one of the people that were having a pint decided to turn the TV back on,
Brilliant.
so they wouldn't allow us to fucking perform. And the owner of the pub came in drunk.
Yeah.
And he was the one that said, "Oh, we want to put the comedy night on here." So he turned up like fucking pissed out his fucking mind, started playing Alice in Chains, Man in the Box,
Oh, yeah.
and so that didn't end up panning out. And then obviously that's changed hands now to an Irish bar. And then as I go back to what I said before about the one where I had to pay that guy £100 because obviously no one turned up, that one's now closed down because of the financial difficulties that were going through. So yeah,
I guess is that a hard thing as well? Because I owned a pub. I sold it in May. Pubs are struggling, and
yeah, yeah,
our life sort of revolves around pubs. An early stage comedian, an entry level comedian needs pubs.
they do. But like I think like for pubs, it's more suited for micro pubs. So I wouldn't say like go for proper big pubs because if you go to big pubs, then they're going to be more of a tough crowd.
Yeah, I don't mind
Yeah.
a tough crowd. I don't mind a tough crowd. I love a cokehead pub.
I
And,
wouldn't say the cold kids, but they're definitely pissed out skulls.
yeah, but I think they're the fine ones because I'm quite a big lad. I can take care of myself, and like, I think they're the ones you're just like they're the hardest loyalty to win. But when you've won it, then
Yeah.
it's all cushy.
Do you know that reminds me of like yesterday as well? Like there was these two lasses. I think one of them was like trying to flirt me as well, and she was like a mother of five kids and about 68-year-old, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, are you going to pick on us?" I was like, "I don't really pick on the audience. I just get them involved by. I'm going to get them involved by improv today."
Yeah. Yeah. I said, how have you developed your crowd work? And like, do you have like your go-to bits?
Well, that's what I'm like saying. I'm getting back into crowd work because, as I said, I used like a couple of years ago. That was when I was doing, you know, the MCing more frequently. Yesterday was like my second gig back at doing MC.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to rebuild that again. So obviously I'm watching a lot more people. Like I'm watching Kilvo doing his MC. I'm watching Matt Rife doing his MC because I quite like the way how he does his MC.
yeah,
And I watch. Are you familiar with Mark Simmons?
yeah. My favourite right now is watching Adam Ray as Dr. Phil.
Yeah,
Love it.
I like
Absolutely
the
love it.
So yeah, I think for me, I think as I'm like starting MCing again, I'm just more like having a conversation with the audience than just like trying to like think of puns on like bicycles and shit.
Yeah,
'Cause,
fair
like
enough. How's that?
I just
You said you're
I
mostly a
just want like
one-liner comedian, aren't you?
I'm mostly a one liner, but like a one liner dark comedian. So like
Okay.
I'm not gonna automatically think like if it's the same bicycle, I'm not gonna automatically think uh pedaling jokes. I'm gonna try and think of something that's more like crashing a bike into a morgue or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, just rebuilding that kind of connection. So I'll just normally have a conversation with the audience, and then if I can't think of stuff onto that subject, then I'll ask like, oh, if you didn't do that job, what would be your dream job? And then more
Okay.
like thinking out the box, like, oh, I've never been asked that question before.
Yeah.
This is a good sort of thing. So now that, and if someone says Iceland, which someone did, and then someone else mentioned, oh, I'll go to Iceland. And I said, I don't mind Iceland. Last time I went to Iceland, I saw like a body in the freezer or something like that. That's what I automatically try and thought, like, twist it more like the shop, link the shop with the country. So that got a lot of laughs,
Yeah.
which I was quite surprised. Thinking this might not work, but
Fair.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I definitely want to try more comparing. Like, but I always think people get nervous about doing crowd work because of the fear of the unknown.
yeah, that's kind of like me in a way. Like I feel like I'm more solid performer as doing like stand up. But going back into doing crowd work, it's a little bit daunting, but it's still fun.
But yeah, so yeah, so the way I've sort of learned, started doing mine a little bit is just doing closed questions, and then sort of
Yeah.
then go down that road. Like on my gay bit, is anyone out there gay? Yeah, oh, thanks for coming out. Like it's nice, like nice low hanging fruit. So what's the worst gig you've ever done?
I was saying since the beginning, it was hot water,
Yeah,
which quite surprised me because I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go in this fucking loving it, and it started off well. I was nervous because obviously it was like I've not done hot water in like a God knows amount of time. I did it in like the old venue, which was a lot smaller than what this one is now, and it started off well, and then there was one joke that only two people got, and everyone else was like, I don't know what intersex is.
okay,
So it was like it was a very like not misdirected joke, but it was more like a joke with like a little bit of like a miscommunication.
okay, cool.
It was a clever joke that only two people got, and then as I was like about to say my next joke, this guy kept on like interrupting me. So like he didn't like the echo, but it was like ubba, ubba, ubba.
Oh,
So he kept on like doing that, and then obviously I was like, well, he's just basically got me out of the fucking gutter, so I've just cut my set short.
yeah,
I was meant to do 10 minutes, and I think I've done about seven or something at that point. I was like, well, this is me now. I finished, and obviously,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't think promoters genuinely care about going over and under as long as you read the room well. Obviously, if you're doing a 10 and you do 22 minutes, yeah, that's going to
yeah.
piss them off. But if you're doing a 10 and you are dying on your ass and you only do 7, I think they'd be cool with that. Or if you're doing 10 but you are killing it and you do 12, I don't think they'll care.
But like, yeah, even the comparator bring it around. I can't remember what he said now, but yeah, there was one person walked out after I did a joke on the menopause, which everyone fucking loved.
Yeah.
And she was more like Karen. She just fucking walked out as if she must have been on a fucking period or something.
Yeah,
But then she fucking walked out, and then there was another gag that I can't remember that I said, but everything basically, landed well. And then there was just that one joke that was a miscommunicated joke that only two people actually got the joke. And then obviously after that, he yelled because I did like a couple of pedo jokes. He was like, "Oh, someone checked his register," and
yeah,
obviously I
famous.
was laughing. I thought that's fucking funny as fuck, and then he just
Yeah,
kept on interrupting me afterwards, and then obviously just I just cut my set short.
yeah, you gave too much time in the day. What about gong shows? Done any gong shows?
I've done two. The last one I did was in March, which wasn't too bad. I did almost 4 minutes, which is better than what I did a couple of years ago, which
Yeah,
I only did about 2 minutes. But I almost passed it.
nice.
So I've only done two gong shows, and the ones that are local to me. So one was like the Lingdale one, which I don't think is. I don't know when the next one is for that one. And then I did. There was one that a guy used to run back in 2017.
Okay,
I can't remember what that one was called. It was had like a weird name. It was like King Gong or something like that. So it was like basically King Kong, but with like the fucking Gong title in
okay,
there.
well, that's what the Comedy Store one is. So they probably copied that out, right? Didn't they? Fucking plagiarism. Right.
Probably, but I can't remember.
Uh, what's been like your favourite moment in comedy?
Yeah. Favorite moment? That's a good question, that because I don't get asked that question as much.
No, it's always about the
I'd say,
bombings.
yeah, small questions on the bombing. I'd say probably I had the opportunity. Well, it would have been my greatest moment is I applied for Just for Laughs in 2020, and obviously COVID hit,
Yeah,
and I had the opportunity to go over to. I got asked by the Dangerfields nightclub to perform there, and obviously again COVID hit, so I was meant to be in New York and fucking Canada, which
yeah,
Canada, that would be ideal for me because like
yeah,
I come from a Canadian sort of what do you call it? Can't get the words out. It's like part of my like my grand's cousin is Canadian from Saskatoon,
yeah.
so heritage, part of my heritage.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Um, so that would have helped me, and you would have got 10 grand for that for
Nice.
the Just for Laughs. So you wouldn't be seen over in like the UK television, but you'd be on the Canadian television. But
Yeah,
they're bringing Just for Laughs now to London as well, so it would be easy for you to apply there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not a big fan of competitions, to be honest. Like,
Like, it's not much of a competition because you just apply for it and then they just put you on TV. So it's basically like you do like a 5 to 10 minute spot on television. It's a bit like Live at the Apollo.
okay, fair. Well, I'll actually take a look at that. Hang on, James. I'll end it with this one. The question I always end it with. Someone comes up to you. They've never done comedy before, and they ask you for some advice, and you can't say just do it. What would you say to them?
Well, just write your material down, and if it's shit, test it to someone else, and if they find it funny, then it might work, and if they don't, just keep writing. And then if you want to try and get onto comedy nights, and just start off at the smaller venues, so then you get your names out there, and then other people will put your name forward,
Yeah,
and then you'll get more recognised. Because if you don't, and then no one actually likes you, then your name is not going to be well known and established.
yeah. But how many? I don't know if it happens though. So how many times do people actually put other people's names forward?
Uh,
Like, I don't think anyone actually ever really comes knocking on your door. You've got to go out and fish for it.
I mean, I quite like that idea. Just a random comedian knocks on your door. Someone wants you.
Yeah, you're on in Ted. Oh shit! It doesn't
Am
really
I?
work like that, does it? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how often it is. I mean, my name's been forward at least hundreds and hundreds of times, but I wouldn't say it's been as many as 1,000, but it's at least about 500 times, I'd say.
uh,
Otherwise, I'm just like finding my own gigs on my own 2 feet.
but
And not other.
I don't know. Maybe either A, I'm shit. Then B, I'm too new. Or C, London, the down south is so saturated.
See, that's the thing, right? Obviously, I'm established, but there's some venues like near me that's like, I try like the shoe cake, And then they said that I'm too dated. I'm like, well, my act's not really dated because what you're trying to say. And
Yeah,
I was like thinking that they're trying to say that I do. Am I more misogynistic? I was thinking I've got no jokes in my set where it's like, oh, women belong in the kitchen. Why would I have that in my fucking set?
yeah,
I'm more equal.
yeah.
I don't think people like that. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, but I always say, like, look, I've never understood that crap. Like, joke about whatever you want, and the audience is judge, jury, executioner.
That's what I
Like,
mean. Like, whether say I just more focus on jokes on, you know, necrophilia, suicide,
the light
family.
stuff.
Yeah, lifestyle. It's just like the way as long as you're not, going too far fetched and actually causing offence and everyone knows it's a joke, and obviously you're gonna have to let that know straight away that, oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I didn't actually had sex with that corpse last night. That didn't go on. It's just a joke.
I would love to run a dark comedy night.
There was a guy that from London that did have his dark comedy night, but I don't know if it's still going. He's called Morat. Uh, I can't remember his surname, but he's Turkish.
Okay.
But he has his own comedy night that's a dark comedy night, but it's mostly all Turkish comedians performing in London, so that's more interesting.
Okay, cool. I'll investigate that a little bit. But I'm not a comic by any means, but I love dark comedy. All right.
Well, that's what I mean. Like another one of my jokes, I didn't know if I don't think I said this at the start, but no, I might have done. Did I? Did I say the I should have guessed the word joke.
I should have guessed.
The word.
No.
I was going to say, like, there was a time when I was in school and my teacher used to have a game of hangman with us. And I walked in and there she was dangling from the ceiling. I still couldn't guess the word.
Yeah.
So that's another one of my jokes. That obviously that didn't actually happen, but I mean, if it did, it would have traumatized me. But yeah,
Do you know what? I can never remember the joke, and I won't do it justice. My mate Callum from Bournemouth, he's a dark comedian, and he makes a joke about he sleeps with the neighbour's wife. He comes around banging on the door, being like, "Oh, you slept with my wife," and he's like, "How do you know?" And he's like, "Oh, she felt so guilty, she killed herself." And he's like, "How dare you? She was dead when I already got there." I heard,
I mean, there was a new joke that like I wrote like on his gravestone. It should be written "World Best Son." Do you know? Turn their mother into a custom fit onesie.
I don't know. Oh no. Right, James, I'll let it there, brother. Look, mate, thanks ever so much for coming on. And yeah, when I come up north, you come down south. We'll definitely have to grab a drink and get on the bill together.
I
Cheers, James.
I
I enjoyed this one,
remember.
guys. Guys, cheers for watching. Much love, brother.